Hello and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out the Monday video from Popcross Studios of turning famous video game characters into fantasy armor. Yes, I said Monday because as I had reacted to the previous one where he announced he was gonna do this on Monday, but y'all will be seeing my reaction on Friday, which it should now be. So let's hop in and see just who, other than Bowser here, is turned into fantasy armor.
Fantasy Armor episodes are easily some of my favorites to make on
Ooh,
this
looks like we're
channel.
gonna get
Probably
Chun-Li.
tied with superhero and villain episodes,
Nice.
and SCP episodes, and demon
Always.
episodes, and
I haven't watched
I guess I
most of
just kind of like doing all the kinds of episodes I do on here. But the point
it's
is, I
fun,
really
Christian.
like doing Fantasy Armor episodes. It's been a little while since I did one, so let's get right
It's
into
really been
famous
a
video
while.
game characters as Fantasy Armors, shall
I
we?
guess so.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hit like if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either way, enjoy the show.
You will. We always do.
Hey Vasilia, what's the story behind
Ooh,
this
Master
hammer?
Chief.
This thing is so
Hell
heavy I can
yes.
barely lift it, let alone swing it. Who'd you make it for?
Oh, Heath, you could swing quite easily and you know this. But you are correct in assumption that there is intriguing tale behind this hammer and its
hear
unusual
it.
mess. He is one of many an ancestor of mine crafted for a group of warriors referred to as
Ooh.
Spartans, though they were not
Nice.
actually of Greek descent.
Huh. Were they actually
No,
as
but-
tough as Spartans supposedly were?
Even
Would
tougher.
likely say tougher. You see, these warriors were originally a group of children kidnapped from their homes,
Yep.
under the orders of a woman called Baroness Halsey, to be
Oh, yeah.
made
I
into
don't know that much
powerful
lore
army
about
of
it, Halo.
knights for a long since destroyed kingdom. The children were trained until they were 14 years old, then they were magically enhanced to be far stronger and faster than a normal human.
I believe that's
Though
surgically
many
enhanced in the
children
game,
did
though.
not survive this enchantment.
Yeah, many did
I'm
not survive.
gonna assume
at
your
all.
ancestor didn't know about that when they made armor for these people. A Kuznet wouldn't make armor for someone who was killing kids, right?
What do you mean?
Very accurate assumption, Heath. She was indeed unaware and ceased her involvement
Never
upon
mind.
discovering the truth. Though at that point had already made dozens of armors, all of which could only be worn by these warriors, or
The ones that
someone
survived,
of
at
similarly
least.
enhanced strength. They were called by the Baroness Halsey to be Mjolnir armor. As you can
Ooh.
see, she was taking
Oh, yeah,
titles
that's
from
right. It's
many
like the
different
Mjolnir
regions
Mark
of the
IV or
world,
something in the
though
game.
was well-suited name considering the armor's formidable weight.
Huh.
Nice.
So, besides being really heavy duty, anything else special about this armor?
Indeed, there was one
you got?
specific armor for the Master Knight who led the Spartans that Baroness Halsey had enchanted with a duplicate of her consciousness so that she could instruct the Spartan in the field and warn him of danger approaching from all sides.
A good way
Wow,
of explaining
that's
Katana.
impressive. Is that something you can do? Could you put a version of you into my armor?
Sadly, no. Not only is this
Oh, come on.
specific spell long lost to my family,
Damn
but
it.
was lost on purpose. You see,
Oh.
duplicating one's consciousness does not bring the heart and soul of the original being. Not
Well,
that
yeah, I
the
mean, that would just make
Baroness had
sense.
the
It's
most
the
pure
mind
heart to
you
begin
copy.
with. Eventually, this duplicate turned on those she was meant to assist and helped bring about the end of this knighthood in
There
the
it is.
kingdom.
That's
Oh,
the bad
well, that's a
news.
shame. I would have liked to meet a group of knights like that.
You mean you would like to try fighting group of knights like this, yes?
Alright, yeah, you got me there.
Dude, if anyone wants to fight a group of knights like this, you probably won't survive. I mean, it's John.
Alright, I've heard enough about your ancestors. Tell me about another of
Ooh,
your
here we go.
armors. What's your
Chun-Li.
favorite one you've made lately?
Ah, Heath, you are
Damn,
very
look at that
quickly
stance.
learning the right questions to ask me. I just recently made new armor for one of my favorite clients. She is warrior called Chun-Li. She is Chinese warrior who frankly does
she
not
Chinese?
need armor to defeat her foes. But obviously is that much more capable with armors I provide.
True.
You see, her
true.
greatest asset in combat is her legs. She has thighs that could crush boulders. So, when she came
Yes,
to me,
she
she was
does.
looking for a way to make her upper body as formidable as her lower.
Doesn't sound like something you'd struggle with.
Was not indeed, though at the time I first met her, I had just
Oh, yeah?
gotten grip on enchanting armors and wanted to push myself.
Okay.
I had women tell me about herself to get better understanding of what to do with her armor, and I
Okay,
was
that's
told by
making
her that
sense.
she was well practiced in ancient Chinese meditative art of Qigong, used to
Qigong?
cultivate and balance one's Qi. There is a
Oh,
system of
okay.
magic that works very well for those who have mastered Qigong, so I imbued her suit with this type of enchantment. This made her able to summon her Qi into balls of energy and fire them at her foes, giving her ranged attacks
the
that was
Hadouken.
almost as formidable as her glorious legs.
You, really got a thing for this chick's legs, huh?
Trust me, if you met her, you would understand. I would not
Oh,
fault
yeah.
you for staring, even in my presence. These legs make Spartan hammer seem like soup spoon in
Those
comparison.
legs could probably crack a
Alright, I'll
mountain.
take your word for it. So, what did she need the armor for anyway? Was she a knight or something too?
No, she was hunting down a group called the Shadow Lords, who she believed had something to do with the death of her father, and she
Which they
needed
did.
all assistance she could get. Which worked out well for me. See, after
You had to make some
gaining armor
badass
from
armor.
me, she sought out Shadow Lords, and along the way teamed up with others who sought to bring them down. She'd
Ah.
been so pleased with the enchanted armor I made her that she eventually recommended me to many of her allies, many
Oh,
of whom
okay.
desired similar such armors for themselves, so they could fight as formidably as she could.
Neat.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Were they all, what was it, Qigong specialists?
No, many of these warriors came from different regions of worlds and
Ah.
required specialized armors. But for most, I was able to make something just right to aid them in their specific type of combat and training.
Okay, well,
Still
that
though,
just makes
well, I
sense.
made
mean, you always
impressive
got to.
works for a whole group. Chun-Li's was my favorite I'd crafted. So, to be fair, with those legs, she would have looked good in dirty Hessian sick. So, that may somewhat
Chun-Li could
influence
look
why
good
I
in
was so pleased
anything.
with how she appeared and fought in my armor.
I mean, that pose for one is just calling all eyes to those legs. Look at that. Chris, what are you doing?
Alright, I got another one for
Here
you.
we go,
What's
King
the coolest
Koopa.
creature you've ever been brought to make armor from?
Oh, I could not choose one, there are so many. Though, the first one to come to mind
look at that
is a
sword.
beast called a Bowserous Turtle Fiend. This is a heavily armored monster that ravages the mushroom hills of Italy and is widely regarded as
king
very
of
difficult to
Koopas.
slay. They are also drawn to castles and are notorious for trying to kill all within a castle grounds to then make the castle like a nest that they did not have to build themselves.
Someone brought you this thing all the way from Italy? They must have been really wanting a Kuznets original.
That they
Nice.
did. I had met young Italian warrior when he was on trip to these
There we
lands,
go.
and he'd always been obsessed with someday slaying a Bowserus, as he'd been named after one himself for their incredible might. He was called Bowser Douglas, and after seeing the
Oh.
armors I'd made, he swore he'd slay a Bowserus, then bring it across the seas to my shop.
Okay,
So
well, I
I could
actually like
craft
this
it into a
backstory.
mighty armor for him to show all of his power and achievement.
Wow, that's
Nice.
a pretty big compliment to you. How long did it take him to achieve that?
He returned here after 4.5 years, and in that time he
Whoa.
had gone from average-sized man to nearly as burly and muscular as yourself. Though
Damn.
not nearly as handsome as yourself.
Oh, no,
I've already
that's
got
too
an armor
sweet.
from you, Kuznet. You trying to flatter me into going for another one?
No, simply flattering you for the sake of it. Anyhow, I made the armor one of the best Kuznet has ever made.
Even I
I
have to
ensured
agree
he would
this
not
almost
regret bringing
badass.
the hide of this beast
And
so
that
far.
sword.
I even made it with flaming broadsword enchanted with everflame to burn for so long as he wielded it. I used the shell
Okay,
for
that's
much of
actually
the
really
armor,
cool.
as that is the sturdiest part
As
of
long
these
as he's
creatures,
holding on to that
but
sword, it will
recolored
always
it to
be a
ensure
light-
it more so
light
resembled
fuck.
the full beast and not simply its back. After my completion of this armor, he was obviously quite pleased, and I learned that he
I
hoped
would be
to
as
return
well.
home once more in the armor and use it to show his worthiness to a princess of his homelands in an
Aw.
attempt to win her over.
Now that's
Well,
sweet.
killing one of those things has got to be a pretty impressive achievement to a princess, I guess.
I mean,
since
no
those
doubt.
dragons tend to attack castles. Any idea if it worked out?
I'm
Did it?
not sure, though the way he spoke about it sounded as though the princess was previously engaged to other men.
Ooh.
Would be curious how it turned out, but regardless, Warrior will likely
Hey,
have
let's go
no
to Italy.
shortage of attention coming his way, after slaying a Balzorus, and of course, while wearing a Kuznet original
look at
armor.
A Kuznet original and defeating a Bowsersaurus. What was he calling it? Like a Koopasaurus or something? I don't know. Oh, hold on. Ad.
So,
And we're back with Roxanne Wolf.
how often do you make armors for yourself, huh? I mean, I know you dig that Shin God armor you got, but
Love it.
that can't be the only one you've made just for you, right?
Well, funny you should ask, as I just completed personal project for myself from a
Ooh.
beast's hide brought to me by our mutual friend, Tyron. Has he told you anything
alright.
about the cursed Thespian kingdom?
I think I heard him telling Kayla about it once. There was like some kind of crazy evil sorcerer king who was trapping kids' souls in dragons or something messed up
Uh-huh.
like that.
Uh-huh.
This is accurate enough summary, yes. Well, as Tyron so often does after he's dealt with a situation and the beasts were all slain, he brought me many of their hides to craft into armor.
Oh, well, that's
He
very
requested
generous.
one for himself, but allowed me to do what I pleased with all the others.
Really?
I was particularly drawn to one he called the Roxilian Zborator. You are
Ooh.
aware of what a Zborator is by chance?
Don't think so. It kind of sounds like some kind of weird massage chair or something.
Is
It
not
kinda
piece
does.
of furniture that massages you. Though I was unaware that your world had such things, and I would very much like to try sometime. Anyhow,
actually
no,
wonderful.
Zborator is type of wolf
Well, some of
dragon,
you have
and
to
when
pay
I saw
to
hide of
use
such creature, I was
sucks.
compelled to make myself wolf-like armor from it. This dragon was one of a kind, not a species, and well, it was evil
Oh, really?
creation of a dark king. I still felt its appearance was worthy of living on in some form, so I made
Respectful.
armor to appear like the dragon itself. I gave suit slight simple enchantment to be lighter than it should have been, so I'd have as much mobility as possible.
Making it
But
faster
beyond
as
that,
well,
it
see.
has no particularly special abilities. Is formidable enough armor to
does
be
he have
sure,
two different
seeing
colored
as
eyes?
how I
Huh.
made it, but is
I'll have to look
mostly
next
for
time.
aesthetic purposes. And I must say, I look quite fantastic in this armor if I do say so myself.
Yes, you do.
I believe it, but like you said about Chun-Li, you'd look good in a dirty Hessian sack. So the armor could really
Oh.
look like whatever and you'd pull it off.
You flatter me, Heath, but seeing as how you are right, I must insist on showing you how I appear in this armor. Come with me.
Sounds good to me. Oh,
Huh?
I think someone's coming in.
What's this?
I apologize, but I must attend to customer. Hello and welcome.
Wait.
Oh, this is not good.
Am I seeing things, or is that a gopher in a tuxedo with a gun?
Wait, what the? What the hell is with the gopher? Why is that a gopher in a suit with a gun?
That ending may
I'm
or may not be
behind.
setting
I'm
up the
laughing.
Multiverse Tales episode and community redraw that comes out a week from today, entitled Gopher with a Ray Gun. Also, anyone who is disappointed that I didn't do Roxanne Wolf in the FNAF Mech Armors episode part 3, well, there we go, I've done her as a fantasy armor now. Anyway, I'm open to doing
Yeah.
another round of this, so give me suggestions for what other video game characters you'd like to see as fantasy armors. And of course, if you're
Yeah,
new to the
alright.
channel and you want more episodes like this, I've got a whole playlist of fantasy armor episodes that I'll link, and I've done lots of other things with famous video game characters. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or
the
inspiring
positive note,
and the
Chris?
thought I want to leave people with today is another quote from the great Jim Rohn.
Ooh.
And that's that indecision is the thief of opportunity. If you don't know what to do, just make a decision, and even if it's the wrong one, you'll at least learn something from it. I hope that's
Very
inspiring
wise.
to someone out there.
Very
Thanks so
wise.
much for watching, everybody. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next episode on Monday. Nope, just kidding, on Friday. Today's Monday. See you there. Goodbye.
And with that, that's where we're going to end our of today's video. So, I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the description will be a link to the original videos. Remember, support the original creator and all they do, and I'll see all of you folks next time. Peace out.